That as now we are on your side, our love we cannot hide, our heart are open wide. I will cheer you along the way. Know how you try, whether we or we lose, that we choose. You understand me? So that's great. Actually, I want to say a very big thank you to all you fans out there. I know we've been starved of football as a result of this coronavirus pandemic that has actually ravaged the world and the world of football also. It has actually not been easy, so things hasn't actually worked out the way they are supposed to. Before now the transfers has been would have been hitting up here and there, but we just say a very big thanks to God Almighty for our coach has actually returned, and he was supposed to return back to training on Tuesday, but he was directed not to because of the general belief of the problem right here in the UK. And we say very big thank you to all you fans out there that stood behind him, that were there for him. Some without disrespect, some of our arch rivals from Tottenham who also sent their their messages across to him, wishing him well and congratulating him for coming out victorious from the pandemic is actually a thing of joy. When it comes in between life and death, you do no longer talk about your club or whatsoever. Whosoever that is involved would actually, be looked into, and would be actually supported by way of extending gratitude and heartfelt sympathy for such conditions. And we are so grateful to you all out there. Some supporters from Manchester United, from Chelsea, from Tottenham, from Liverpool, from Manchester City, Everton, or most of our old players, Fabregas and Van Persie, Ray Parlour, Patrick Vieira, all of them. They all sent across their messages to our coach, and that is to say, we are so grateful. We are so grateful. Honestly, we are so grateful for all these, and we believe that in no distant time, football will start again. And actually, we know that in Italy, we are actually saying a very big sorry to Italy as a nationality. It has actually touched them so much. Here in UK, we say a very big sorry to all of you. And in Malaysia, in Singapore, in Germany, in Indonesia, in Thailand, in China, in so many countries of Africa, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Tunisia, Morocco, Senegal, Benin Republic, so many, Cameroon, where these cases, has been identified, in Egypt, in Libya, so many, South Africa. So we say very big sorry to all of you out there. In Botswana, so many countries, they are all countless, in Poland, in Denmark, Sweden, Switzerland, all these places. They are faced with one or two cases. In few countries, I think it is only in Belarus, right there in Europe, that we've not identified any of such. And I think football is still going on there in Belarus right now as I speak to you, where our former player Alexander Help was, trying to advise Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi to come over and start having their foot once again back to action. But I say a very big thank you to all of you that has sat behind closed doors, expecting when this will come to an end. And I believe certainly it will surely come to an end. America has been hit, and at the end of the day, they've been able to find a vaccine that will be going worldwide, for the eradication of this pandemic called virus or called coronavirus, which is to be stopped immediately the injection is taken. It will be stopped in the next 3 hours. So I think this actually is going to be very powerful, working through the immune systems and the bloodstreams. So I think actually this is certainly going to be very okay. And I am also advising countries to identify with this and make sure that things work out according to plan, because certainly it's not going to be easy, getting this supply, because the world population is being reduced drastically on daily basis. So many countries are losing souls, and people that would have been very instrumental to the development of the economy and the sports itself at large, but this has actually reduced the population rate, but all the same, we only have to say thank you to God, for having protected us thus far. And actually, it is also contained in the book of law that a time like this would come when everybody will have to lock up himself inside the room and actually stay for quite some time. If you go to the book of Isaiah 26, Isaiah 20 verse 26, you will see it is contained. Possibly a time like this has come according to the prophecies in the Bible. So I think it is one of the things that will certainly happen. It catches men unaware, but all the same, it has come and it is about going, because for a vaccine to be found out, I believe this is the end of coronavirus. It's only going to take a little more time. And I pray that countries will continue to help their citizens to curb all these, so that at the end of the day, we will all come out victorious in this. We are in it together, and we are all coming out together. As many that has lost their beloved ones, I sympathize with you all. With the name of Arsenal Club, we sympathize with all you there. Accept our sympathies. Accept our sympathies. Is actually a painful condition, passing through this kind of a thing at this time in our life, where we suddenly begin to lose individuals that are so dear to us, our husbands, our wives, our children, our uncles, our cousins, our nephews, our aunts, and so on. And we keep losing them on daily basis, and we keep watching them dying off, So, but that is one of those things. I think I don't need to talk more about this, because the world is certainly hit by this. But all the same, we have to move on. So as it stands, I want to say a very big thank you to all Arsenal fans and supporters. Arteta has come on to say that actually the Aubameyang isn't going anywhere. But there are some lessons that we need to learn. If actually he is about 15 weeks or 15 months left in his contract, and he has not signed the contract till now, for me, I am not trying to pass the judgment, but for me, in order to avoid this Van Persie stuff, as most of our players that just departed unceremoniously, he has been a very good guy to us. I think it will be better for us not to have problem with him before he leaves. If we try to persuade him and he doesn't, for me, I think at the end of the season we'd better part way with him, recoup some money, from his transfer and look elsewhere. Maybe I think Dembele is out there for sale. I think we'll have to go for him. There are so many players out there that will be willing. If Lacazette is not willing to stay, because it's all about the willingness. If a player is not willing to stay, Fabregas once said that the reasons why he left wasn't just because he wanted to leave, but because some players are not serious in the team. He only had Van Persie, he only had Nasri that we are willing to win things. Most of other players, when they lose a game and are in the bus going back, to London, some of them will be smiling, some will be discussing on the next place they will be going tomorrow for party and things like that. And he will be feeling inside himself, what sort of players are around me? For the last 2 or 3 years of his contract, of the time he left, he said he was looking at this and he was, seeing lack of seriousness in some of them, when he will be suffering inside of him, because as a captain and as a player that actually wanted to win things, when he loses, he doesn't feel okay. Around 2012 to 13, that he left, or 2014 he left the club. He said that in the last game that they lost in 2010 against Bolton, which cost them the league, he looked at himself and he was crying inside of him. But most of the players were celebrating. Some of them were happy, discussing about where they will be going for partying tomorrow. So it really hurt him, and he was able to find out that the number of players that were willing to win things, we are few in the team, and the club continue promising, we are going to sign this person and we are going to sign that person, and at the end of the day, none of them will be forthcoming. So at the end of the day, he now made up his mind and he says, Wenger, I want to go. And that was one of the reasons that led him to force his transfer. So we are all human beings. At times we really need to look beyond the ordinary and consider that they are professionals. They really want to win things that you will show to your children, the generation that they could not have the opportunity to watch you. They will see some silverwares that you've won for yourself. And these are the reasons why it is very necessary for us to actually understand why some players would always want to leave. So for me, Aubameyang, if he is not going to stay, it doesn't mean he has become a Judas. He was already a big player before he came. So let us sell him, recoup some money, buy other players, and make sure that we begin a rebuilding process, which I believe has just started. But let's build up a stronger team, a quality that everybody will have the same mindset of winning things. And by the time we begin to win things, some other players will be, forced to come into the team. And everybody, when you have more of the number of players that are willing to win things, you will see that everybody will, the mindset of the few that we are not there for such plans will begin to change. And that is just that. The chemistry will change. So that is exactly what it needs now. So you could see the last time of Wenger, when he brought in Cazorla, he brought in Ozzy, he brought in Sanchez, Ramsey was there, Theo Walker was there. These guys were willing to go and they were pushing things. But sometimes you still look behind you, you see people like Mertesacker. He's not one of the best you actually needed. And you'll be looking at some little players that will be playing from behind, that will be causing some silly mistakes, and you begin to ask yourself, are these top quality? And actually, you're going to give yourself the answer and you say, no, they are not. And actually, they are not. So that is the thing. We really need to see some leaders from the defense. People like Lewis is a leader, and he should stop, making some silly mistakes. And I believe and trust in him. And the likes of Kieran Tierney should be built within that mold, and also Bellerin, So these guys, we really need to have some high-headed players at the rear and in front, so that things will certainly move on. If we can be able to convince Aubameyang and Lacazette to stay, then we'll have to be proactive in the transfer market. Go for players that are willing. Go for players like Opamecano, get them, get them stocked in the defense so that by the time you'll be playing, when the attackers are going, they will be rest assured that they have some solid defenders at the defense, that will be willing to wage war for them when any little mistake is done in front. And these are the areas where we really need to correct. Our central defense should be corrected. The left back and the right back, I think, are okay now. So what we need now is to go for a center back that would be very strong, that would be willing to bully every striker that will come along. And you go for another top quality four, another top quality defensive midfield that will, that attacking midfielders will be very much aggressive to see. They wouldn't want to see them. Tough tackling players like Patrick Vieira, they are still scattered all over Europe. So you need to get these guys, get them into the team, look for a top quality 10. Ozil is a good player, no argument, but for now he is not good, and that is just the truth. Let us just stand on the truth. Let us get a top quality 10 that will be angry when he doesn't score, that will be angry when his team is losing, that will be angry when he doesn't make assists. Ozil is no longer making the assist, and this is one of the problems that we are having, and we are very afraid to speak it out. Ozil is a good polished player, no argument, no disrespect, but I am telling you now, he has passed his prime. He shouldn't be there as the number one. Let us look for somebody that will be there as number one while he will be deputizing. That is just the simple truth. And by the time we begin to understand this, I think things will certainly begin to happen in our team again. Thank you, and God bless you. In case if this is your very first time of watching my video, please, I would want you to go to the red subscribe button and subscribe for me, share and like my videos. And if you've been watching also without a subscription, please, you can now subscribe, share and also like. I say a very big thank you to all of you out there that has been battling this pandemic all this while. Football is soon gonna come back. Thank you, and God bless you.